What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna do something just a little bit different. No meta, no numbers, nothing like that, just vibes. And what I mean by that is this is going to be a fun tier list based off of my experiences in Monster Hunter Wilds. I have played every weapon to a fairly decent degree. I've got pretty good mastery of just about all of them when it comes to fighting after picking it up and working on whatever it is that I am for a little bit of time, and I am able to start using the weapon to its higher degree. I'm not going to say to the fullest. There are a couple standalone weapons that I'm not a huge fan of, but that's what today's tier list is going to be all about. So, if you want an idea of what I would deem as the most fun for you guys to try next, this is going to be the video for you. Without further ado, make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing. Liking especially is really, really important, but most importantly is commenting, guys. Getting the idea of what you like, that way I can keep producing the content like that, is super, super valuable and super, super important. And truth be told, I value all of your opinions. There is 2,000 plus subs now, and if every single one of you commented on a video, I would respond to as many as I possibly could, and eventually all of them. So make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing, just so that we can try and continue the growth that we have had over the last couple of months. That being said, let's get into today's video. First up, we have the bow, and the bow is in the decent tier for me. The reason the bow is in the decent tier is because you guys are built different. This weapon is all about precision, stamina management, and perfect positioning. And when you're locked in, you look insane. You dance around the attacks, you land clean shots, and it's beautiful. The problem with bow for me is one mistake, one bad dodge, and it feels like you're kind of done. It feels like I'm having to micromanage every single little part of the fight, and that's great, it's just not for me, which is why bow is going into the decent tier instead of the fun. Next up, and in the most fun category, we have my baby, the Charge Blade. Truth be told, this weapon's a masterpiece. I fell in love with it back during Monster Hunter World, and truth be told, at first, it feels complicated. Files, charging, switching forms, but once it finally clicks, everything made sense. You build up energy, you store it, you unleash it for insane explosions, you turn your axe or your sword into a buzzsaw that just shreds through enemies, and then on top of that, you've got guard points, which reward you for mastery of the weapon. For that, Charge Blade absolutely sits as my #1 most fun weapon. Back to our decent tier list, we have the dual blades. And truth be told, the dual blades are pure anime energy. You're fast, you're aggressive, and it's non-stop pressure. You get to pop demon mode and you just go. It's dodging, it's slashing, it's weaving, and it's constant action. But for me, the combo strings are just a little too meh. You literally just kind of turn your brain off and your character does all of the effects for you. Because of that, it's cool, don't get me wrong, it's just not for me. You're still doing damage, but it kind of just turns into button mashing if you're not careful. It's fun, it's flashy, it doesn't have enough depth to keep me hooked permanently, which is why it's in the decent tier. Next up, we have the Switch Axe, and the Switch Axe, just like the Charge Blade, the other morphing weapon, is going into the most fun tier. It's pure aggression. You've got no shields, no fear, just constant pressure. You're switching forms mid-combo, you're sticking to the monster, you're never letting up. Between the full release slash and the zero-sum discharge, you are able to do crazy amounts of damage. You get to just latch on and kind of go full explosion mode. It's a ton of fun. And on top of that, with the counter mechanics, it makes it even better. I fell in love with this weapon back during Monster Hunter Rise when there was morph loops, and you can't exactly do that here, but I would be lying if I didn't say that I still enjoyed the weapon enough to put it in my most fun tier. First up, in the not for me tier, we have the Lance. And I just have a quick question. Lance players, I see you. I respect the discipline, the patience, and the unbreakable defense. But how do you do it? You're literally just a walking wall. You poke, counter, and repeat. It's safe, it's consistent, but it feels like it's lacking adrenaline. Okay, when I'm hunting, I don't want to feel like I'm just clocking in for work. I don't want to just feel like, oh, it's a fine fight. No, I want the chaos. I want the risk, and it just isn't there for me. Lance feels like I'm playing chess, and everyone else is playing a fun action JRPG. Next up is the hunting horn in the decent tier. And truth be told, the hunting horn is one of the coolest concepts for a weapon in most games. I mean, just a giant musical instrument that knocks things unconscious is really, really cool. You're buffing your team, you're dealing damage, and you're playing songs mid-fight, and it's unique. And when you're in sync, you feel like the backbone of a hunt. But sometimes I don't really want to think about other players. I don't want to think about the buffs and the melodies, and I just want to hit the monster. It's fun, but it comes with a responsibility I don't feel like carrying, and because of that, it's only in the decent tier for me. Next up in the not for me tier, we have the heavy bowgun. And this thing hits, I won't even lie. The heavy bowgun has some insane damage numbers. You lock in though, you plant your feet, and you just delete the monster. But that's my problem. You just plant your feet. Yeah, you can guard with it. Yeah, you can sit there and pierce through the monster. But if you're playing with other people, the monster's not even going to aggro you half the time anyways, and you just kind of sit there. It feels like I turned Monster Hunter into Bloons tower defense. There's no movement. There's no flow. I don't want to set up for a hunt. I want to go on a hunt. And this feels like I'm just kind of waiting for the monster to come to me, which is why it's not for me. Next up, and by unpopular opinion, is the hammer. The hammer is funny. The bonk brotherhood is legendary. Landing a KO is so satisfying. But the gameplay loop honestly got really repetitive really fast. All you're doing is staying glued to the head, and you're chasing it around like it owes you money. And if you miss the head, your damage just literally jumped off a cliff. There is no point in fighting and hitting anything other than the head on hammer. I get the appeal, but for me, it's kind of one-dimensional, and even more so one-dimensional than something like the dual blades. I need more than just a chase the head and bonk, and because of that, that's why it is a weapon that is not for me. Next up, and back into the most fun tier list, we have the greatsword. The greatsword is simple, but it's not easy. It truly rewards knowing the monster matchups and how to go about it. You've got slow swings and huge commitment, but the payoff is insane. If you land a fully charged hit, it literally feels like you're dropping a nuke on the monster. But if you miss, you've got no one to blame but yourself. Not to mention, with the offset mechanic and power clash mechanic of Wilds, the greatsword is one of the few weapons, if not the only weapon, that can do it all to the perfect degree. Okay, this weapon is all about timing, positioning, and confidence, and when you get it right, you're the strongest hunter in the game, and that's why it's on my most fun tier list. Next up, and also in the most fun tier for me, we have the Gunlance. The Gunlance is just chaos incarnate in weapon form. Yeah, you've got the defense almost of a lance, but let's be honest, you play the Gunlance for the explosions. It's shelling, it's blasting, it's constant pressure, it's loud, it's aggressive, and it's just fun. With Wild's introduction of the Gunlance as it is, I seriously loved it. I've played with it in other games, but I wasn't a big fan. I didn't care about optimal damage routes on the Gunlance. All I care about is making the monster regret its existence, and Gunlance isn't subtle, and that's exactly why I love it as much as I do. Now we come to the sword and shield. And I'm gonna be honest, this one hurts a little bit. The sword and shield is actually really good. It can do everything. Damage, support, mobility, and items, because it's the only weapon that you don't have to sheath to activate an item. It's almost the most complete weapon in the game. But that's kind of the issue. Is to me at least, it feels like a jack of all trades, and it doesn't feel insane at anything. There's no big moment, there's no big payoff, it's just solid, it's reliable, it's consistent. I don't play Monster Hunter to feel consistent. I play Monster Hunter to hunt the big monster, and Sword and Shield just doesn't do that for me. And the final weapon, in the most fun category, we have the longsword. The longsword is just style incarnate. Everything flows, your combos, your movement, your counters. It's such a fun weapon once you have fully mastered not only what it can do, but what it is that you're fighting. You're not just fighting the monster, truth be told, you're dancing with it between counters and adjustments, the special sheath animations, and everything else in between. It feels amazing. Perfect counters, clean transitions, and absolute cinema every time. And this weapon makes you look good, which is why it is the final weapon in my most fun category. The final weapon in our decent category is gonna be the insect glaive. And this could have been higher, if I'm being honest, if you were able to keep some of the verticality that you got in Monster Hunter World. And you just don't get to in Wilds. The insect glaive lets you fly, and that is a win, but it was better in previous games. You get to jump, you get to dodge, and you get to attack from angles that no one else can. It's really cool, honestly. But the other part to it is kinsect management. Wilds definitely made it easier, but thanks to focus mode, they kind of made it too strong, if I'm being honest. You're able to just get away with everything. And collecting the buffs, maintaining the uptime, making sure that everything's optimized is great, but it's once again juggling mechanics instead of focusing on a hunt. It's a really, really good concept. It just used to be better. And last but not least, the final weapon in our tier list, and also the final weapon in the not for me category, is the light bowgun. The light bowgun is smooth, it's safe, it's efficient, you're getting to slide around, you fire in all the time, and you're staying out of danger. It's honestly really clean gameplay, but kind of like Sword and Shield, where's the impact? It kind of just feels like I'm slowly chipping away at a monster instead of actually fighting the monster. The monster does die eventually, but eventually I want to feel like I'm hitting the monster, like I'm making an impact. And unfortunately, the light bowgun just doesn't do that for me, which is why it's just not for me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude my most fun tier list for all 14 weapons in Monster Hunter Wilds. Although your weapon may not be my favorite, I can say that just the game as a whole is a ton of fun. That is going to do it for today's video, though. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Like I said at the very beginning of the video, if you made it this far along, make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and subscribing. It lets me know exactly what I need to do to make sure to keep you guys invested. That being said, I will see all of you in the next one. Farewell. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fake